Alright guys, what's going on here? As you see, TheTCPLive here again. Alright, so as most of you guys know, the Boston Celtics just beat the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and now they advance to the conference finals against, well, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and probably not Chris Bosh, because supposedly he's still injured, so they don't know if he'll be able to go. But yes, the conference finals are set now, finally. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals will be on Monday. I believe that game will be on ABC between the Heat and the Celtics in Miami. And tomorrow we have Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. That'll be in San Antonio. I believe that's on TNT. Oklahoma City at San Antonio. Two very good conference finals, I think, just sitting here giving my little predictions of it and thoughts, of course. Should be, like I said, both of them should be a good series. I'm really looking forward to Oklahoma City and San Antonio, because those are two very good teams. Oklahoma, they've played, to me, games that they should have won. I want to say easily, but games that they should have gotten control of, type of deal. And when you're in the playoffs, you can't mess up on that. You have to take every advantage you can. You can take, for example, my honest opinion, I think they should have, some of those games they honestly could have lost, too, against the Lakers. And some of those games they easily could have, won, Like, for example, Game 3? Yeah, Game 3. I think they could have won Game 3 against the Lakers. But they let that one slip by, and they almost let Game 4 slip by along with Game 2. So, honestly, the Thunder have to be careful. They have to be very careful. They're deep on the bench, obviously, with James Harden and Derek Fisher. So, they could do some stuff off the bench, obviously. And then, of course, Durant, Westbrook, Ibaka, very effective defensively, as I said before, along with Kendrick Perkins. Cephalosha's just there, I guess. I don't know. But I do think the Spurs are going to be a little bit too much, though. That's the problem. I think the Spurs are going to be too much of a team. They're, I think, a better team overall. They got, even with James Harden, and don't get me wrong, I like James Harden, but I still rather have, I think, Manu Ginobili a little bit more than James Harden, because I notice Harden kind of slacks a little bit on D. Ginobili, does play pretty good defense, so I think the Spurs are better off on the bench, and I think starting line. I mean, people will say all you want. Oh, Tim Duncan. Oh, it's, whatever. When really, the key of the Spurs has been the one and only Tony Parker, the magician. I think they're calling him now, the magician. Tony Parker. People are like, oh, he's old. Hell, I thought the guy was old, so I looked at his age. He's only 29. He's been in the league for 10 years. He started in the league when he was freaking 19 years old. God damn. But he's 29 years of age. So he still has it, and then some. He's playing his best basketball, in my honest opinion. That's saying something, too. So, honestly, as good as the Thunder are, I think the Spurs are going to win. I honestly see this going to a Game 6. Possibly 7, but I'm going to say Game 6. I do think the Spurs have to lose a game here. They can't just go straight out going undefeated in the playoffs. That's just ridiculous. But I think they will lose. I think they'll lose one game at home. I don't know which one. I think Game 2 they might lose. But I think they're also going to lose another game on the road. Remember that Oklahoma City crowd is always fired up and whatnot. I think it might be a little bit too much for the Spurs. So I think that the Spurs will win in 6 games. Alright, 6 games, yeah. And last but not least, the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Heat. A lot of you may know I'm a Celtics fan. I am. I do think the Celtics have a little bit of a chance. I'm not saying they don't have a chance of beating the Heat. They did very well against the Heat in the regular season. I think a lot of people forget about that. They are playing without Avery Bradley due to injuries. They have a lot of injuries, and that's obviously going to hurt them. But, of course, with that big injury that, the Heat have, their lack, thanks to Bosh being injured, their lack of height. Come on, you have LeBron James. I know LeBron James is 6'9", but the guy's a small forward. He plays a 3, not the 4. You have him playing off power forward. So basically, you're having LeBron going to try to cover, Kevin Garnett, which I think that's going to be an interesting matchup because you got Dwayne Wade. Oh, he's a good defensive player. Now you have Kevin Garnett, who's a good, excuse me, you're not going to have, no, this is the O line, excuse me. You're going to have LeBron James probably covering Brandon Bass, and then you're going to have freaking Garnett, who I know they're saying, oh, well, analysts are saying, oh, well, he's not a down low guy. He's a guy that likes to shoot the jump shot and whatnot. He's more of a jump shot guy. That's fine, in my honest opinion, because who are you going to have guarding Garnett? Udonis Haslem? I'm sorry, but I don't think Udonis Haslem can be good defensively, but I don't think he's going to be enough to stop a guy like KG. Paul Pierce needs to step it up. He fouled out tonight, but I think he's a guy that, he has a bad game. He'll bounce back. He's been known to have that. Rondo played exceptionally well. To me, whenever Rondo plays on ABC, it seems like he always gets a triple-double. So as long as the game's on ABC, I think Rondo should be fine. And Allen, he really needs to step up, especially now with Bradley being out for the season and possibly out next year as well. So he needs to step up. I know he was struggling a bit. He was only, I think, 3 for 11 shooting tonight, but he should be, as long as he keeps, making his basket in, I think the Celtics should stay into it. And of course, the Heat, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, they've been on fire. Usually I'd say, why am I talking about this guy? But, I know Battier and Miller have done well and whatnot, but Mario Chalmers, a lot of people are saying, oh, I want Norris Cole to be the starting point guard. He should be the starting point guard. When really Mario Chalmers, ever since people have been saying that, people have kind of forgotten about Norris Cole. People have talked about Mario Chalmers and what he's done. And yes, Mario Chalmers has had his games. Mario Chalmers is one of those point guards that he has a really good game, and he doesn't have it for another 3 or 4 days, and then he just has a really good game right there. You say, whoa, this guy has 19 points and 9, 10 assists, type of deal. So it should be interesting matchup. Who do I think will win? Honestly, I see this going Game 7. A lot of people aren't calling crazy. It's like, oh, what are you talking about? This is going to go in 6 games. It could possibly go to 6 games, but I think it's going to go 7 games. And people are saying, oh, the Heat are going to win, the Heat are going to win. Well, you know what? I'm going outside the box. I'm going for the upset. And I'm not saying just because I'm a fan of them, but I'm going for the upset. The Celtics, you heard me, the Celtics are beating the Heat in Game 7. Beat that. And you can make fun all you want about a retirement home between the Spurs and the Celtics in the NBA Finals if it does happen. But you know what? I don't care. That's it for me. TheCPLive. Yeah.